Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video I will try to make a fishing bait in Blender 2.8. I would like to use sculpting for that. Now I'm not a professional bait maker and I'm not good in sculpting, but I thought it would be fun to try to make a bait and try if I can catch some fish with it. So let's get started. First we will open File menu, New and Sculpting. So this is the default sculpting view. We have this quad sphere here, and what I like to do at the beginning is just to rename this to bait. Then I come to the settings here where I can select Dyne Topo, so this will be dynamic topology, and detailing I select constant detail. Resolution is quite low. By default I will increase that to 10, let's say, which is still quite low, but let's see if we can increase the resolution later on. Okay, so first I would like to add some mass to this, so I want an elongated body. I will use the snake hook. Let's try to increase the size of the tool, so hit F and just pull out to have a relatively big tool. Now what I didn't mention here is the symmetry. So the symmetry is mirroring on X by default, which means that whatever I do on one side of the bait, it will be mirrored to the other side. So here you can see the orientation, so this is the X-axis, but it's better just to grab and pull somewhere and you see how it is mirrored. So I will undo that, but now I have a very good guess how it is mirroring. So Command Z or Command Z for undo in Mac. If you have some other platform, probably it is Ctrl Z. So I will grab now from here, okay, just a little bit, and now from the middle, so I can pull it so that it's not pulling two bumps, but only one. So I just add more mass. Now you can see what dynamic topology is doing. So instead of just pulling the existing faces, it adds new faces as I pull out. And that's good because we will have later some faces to work with when we want to add some details. Okay, now I will pull the nose. Still I'm using the snake hook. So every now and then it's good to rotate around and see what we are doing. It's a bit hard to imagine without looking around. Okay, so this is very rough still, but doesn't matter. So next I will use the scrape tool to make the body a bit more slim. So I want this side to be the nose and that is the tail. So I will select the scrape tool and I will increase the strength a little bit, so 2.85 or something like that, and I start scraping from the side. Okay, just rotate. Scraping. By the way, I'm using my mouse here, not any drawing board or tablet. I know it probably would be better to use some vacuum tool. I have a vacuum bamboo, but I cannot find the stylus for it, so maybe later on I will switch to that if I find a stylus, but now it is a mouse. It's not very optimal for this, but still it works. Okay, now I make the tool a bit smaller and decrease the strength. So F again and just make the tool smaller. And I press Shift for smoothing and start smoothing the bumps. So it's basically, if you have some rough edges or bumps, it blends in, averages around that area. Okay, now we are starting to get some shape. Still quite wide, so I would like to scrape more, and the belly is too big. Okay, now I will make the tool smaller and scrape off from this area, because I want this. I want flat. Okay, it's went too far, so let's stay on the middle. I want it to be flat, so maybe flatten tool would be a better choice. The tool and maybe the strength. Okay, much better, but the nose is pinched. Okay, now we have a flat front, so I want to have the hook, the line tie somewhere here. Okay, now smooth it out. Okay, make the tool very small. And I just applied some smoothing over there. So now we have a flat. Maybe I try to pinch the edges a bit to have a stronger edge. Okay. Yeah, maybe this is it. This is the shape I want. Okay, now I will try to make the gills. For that I will use the crease tool, and I will change the resolution to quite high, like 80. Okay, and the strength all the way up. I will change the size of the tool and zoom in. Okay, and then we'll start drawing with this. Okay, and here I want to come all the way in like that, and then I go back on this gap again. Okay, I think I will stop sculpting here. Next I will change to general modeling workspace. So this workspace is not here in these tabs, so I just press the plus sign, general and modeling, and beware that this is in edit mode when you change, so I will change it to object mode. Okay, one more thing that I don't like, that by default the units are in meters. So here in this tab I will select units and I will remove the any units, so none is fine for me. And if I press N, I can see the dimensions of this bait. Now if I'm correct, one unit here, so one blender unit if you like, is 1 millimeter in the STL file when we export it. So I will scale this up accordingly. So I want the bait to be about 8 centimeters, so that is 80 millimeters. So for the y-axis, because it's the longest along the y-axis, I will change it to 80. Okay, and then I check the scale here and I copy that to the other unit, so then it will be a uniform scaling, other axis, sorry. Okay, and now I zoom out. Alright, so that's my bait now. Let's save this. So file, save, and I will create a new folder for this. Zero 05. Go to the folder and I call this 05. Okay, save as Blender file. Nice. Now next I would like to add some holes, through holes. So I want a whole rig going through here and towards the tail. For that I will add new objects. So I will add the mesh cylinder and the dimensions, let's see, so on Z it can be whatever, so I will use 70, and I want a bit thicker, so maybe 3.5 millimeters hole, or let it be 3, okay, 3 millimeters hole. So on the X and Y I will add 3 millimeters. Okay, press G for, oh, before that I will, because this is 70 millimeters now, I will lift it up to 35 millimeters. So on the Z axis it's 35, and now my cursor is here on the 0, 0, 0. So I will try to change the origin, set origin to 3D cursor. Okay, what it does, it moves the pivot point here, so when I rotate this object, so hit R, then it rotates around that point. Okay, I grab now with G and I move it, but I hit Shift X. What it does, it excludes the X from the movement, so it can move only along the only in the YZ plane. Okay, so I will put the bottom where I want the hook hanger, and now I will hit R for rotate and X for rotate around the X axis. And I rotate this until the top is where I want to have the line tie. Okay, now I have a pipe and I will cut with this, but before that I will add another one. So I just duplicate this, hitting Shift D, and then I hit Y, so it will move along the Y axis. Okay, and now I will grab this, and again, so hitting G and Shift X, so it moves on the YZ plane, and I will move it where I want to have the, or actually I should move it where I want to join the pipes. Okay, so for that I will switch to wireframe view, and I start rotating this around the X axis. Okay, I zoom in and it looks actually quite okay for me. So I'm looking at how it will join the two pipes. Maybe hiding the bait would be better, and I will change the shading. Yeah, so this is how it will join. Maybe if I scale this joining pipe a little bit down, so I hit S and I scale it a little bit down, and I watch where it joins. Okay, alright, so I select the first pipe, come here to modifiers, and I will add the boolean modifier, boolean, and I select the other cylinder, and I will for the operation I change to union. Okay, now before applying this I will hide the second cylinder, and it looks okay. So I will apply this, and the first cylinder I just delete, I don't need that anymore. And for this I select the whole object and rename it to pipe. Okay, now I will make the bait visible. Okay, I will select the bait and add another modifier. Then this time it will be difference, and I select the pipe. Okay, I will hide the pipe first and look how it would work. Yeah, good enough for me. I will apply this, and then I will add the plane. So I will cut this bait to half and later just mirror the other half, because it's easier to print if I have a flat surface. So where I will cut, there will be a flat surface. So I will add a mesh plane, and this plane is quite small, so I will change the size to 100. Okay, and I will rotate around the y-axis 90 degrees. Alright, and I will hit G, Shift X, move it a little bit so it's in the... Make sure that it cuts all everywhere. Okay, I will select the bait, add modifier, boolean difference, and select the plane. Okay, let's hide the plane and look what happened. Actually nothing. So in this case, sometimes it just doesn't work. So in this case, it may be good to move the plane. So move the plane a little bit along the x-axis. So I will select the plane, hit G, X, and 0.01. Now, as I move the plane, hit enter for moving it, you see now it starts cutting because the bait modifier still has the plane. So this one. So if I hide the plane, now we can check if it did what we want. Yes. So now we have half bait with the cutouts for the wire harness. Okay, I will apply this. Next, I would like to add some cavity for weights and a rattler, so it would make some noise. I would like to put some stainless steel balls or steel balls inside. So next I will add a cube, so add mesh cube, scale it up to how big it should be, maybe 7 millimeters. Now it's, yeah, it looks okay. And I will just grab this with G, again Shift X, make sure it moves only along that plane. So yeah, and you see it cuts through, so I will grab along the X axis, so GX, and move it up. Alright, now maybe I will rotate this a bit. So hit R, X, so it will rotate around the X axis. Okay, and again G, Shift X, just to move it to some place. Alright, so if I add some weight here and the line will be here, then it would a bit rotate so that the nose would go a little bit down and the tail would come up a little bit. Okay, next I will add another object. We could do the modifier first before I add another object. So add modifier, oh no, not to this one. So select the bait, add modifier, boolean, you probably guessed already, difference, and this cube. Okay, let's hide the cube. It did what we wanted to. Now we have one half of the bait. this is the left side, so I will call it bait left. Alright, now I will duplicate this by hitting Shift D, then X, so I move it around along the X-axis. So I have a new body now, and I call this or rename this to bait right. Okay, and here in object mirror, I will mirror it on the local X. There you go. So now we have the other side of the bait. It's mirrored. Everything is fine. Okay, so next, let's save this. Next, I will select 3D printing here and check this, click on the solid, and if we have some problems, then it will show non-manifold edges here, and if you happen to have those, you can try to click this make manifold, but this time it's okay. So I will just export this. Here I check the path where it will export, so I just click it, so it will export to the right directory. So I just say export. Okay, and it says that the right STL is exported. Now I select the other one and hit export, and now we have the two STL files. After this, I will slice this in Cora. Let's save again, and let's switch to Cora. Okay, so here we are in Cora. I will open first the one side of the bait. Let's say the left side. I open this. Okay, and then I select the model and rotate tool, and I will use this align to build plate tool. Select that and just click on a face that we want to align to the build plate. Okay. Okay, now they are a bit overlapping. I could right click here and arrange all models. Okay, it's good enough. I just move them to a little bit towards the center, so I will shift click the unselected. And then select the move tool and just move them. Okay, next I will slice it. My slicing parameters are so that I set the generate support on. It may or may not be necessary. I found that it's quite easy with my printer to remove those generated supports, so I will just use it. It will help to have a nicer cavities. So I will slice it now. Okay, so it will take 1 hour 39 minutes, that's the estimation, and it will be 14 grams, which is good. We will add some additional weight, so this will be around maybe 20 grams or so. Save to file. and just select the folder, and I will rename this to C3D. So I have a Hypercube 3D and I like to name the file with the printer name in it. Save. Okay, and we can open the folder and it saved it here. Okay, the left is in the name, so I will remove that. It will be just bait. Okay, so now we have the G code. Next we will print this. Alright, that was it. I'm planning to make a fishing video with this bait, test how it works. Right now the weather is very bad, so I have to wait a couple of days. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time. Bye.